Alright guys, I just wanted to make a quick video here for everybody. Actually, I don't know if it's gonna be quick, but I will try and get to the point as quickly as I can. So, I see a lot of false information out there. It's probably not on purpose, but it's just not correct. And a lot of that information is probably to your benefit, but I just want to clear things up and give you all the information so you can make those decisions for yourself. Yeah, so let's get into it. So I got my little handy dandy calculator here, and so a little example before we start. And this is just to give you a better understanding of weapons and crafting and what the points I'm going to talk about here. So I'm going to be talking about the attack speed for larger weapons like this. So we have increased attack speed by 36%, and we have 1.12. So 1.12 times it was 36%, so it's 0.36. Enter. So that's our reduction. So we take 1.12 minus, then we go to history. Okay, it's right there. I wasn't paying attention. Minus 0.4032. Enter. And that gives us an attack speed of 0.7968. And if we come and look at the other weapons, yes, that's still not as fast as a dagger. No, it's not as fast. Oh, it's a little bit closer to some of these, but it's not as fast as any of these. But we're getting there, especially with those. So now you can see we already have these beat out in speed. So we're way beyond these in DPS by a significant margin. But how could we make these weapons better in DPS? Oh yeah, we definitely got these beat out. Okay, so we're faster with these now, faster than these. All right, so let's do some math. Let's take the katana. We'll say this one with the 0.6. No, a lot of people love the katana, so we'll take the katana's 0.6. We'll start over. We're gonna go 0.6. Okay, so we're gonna go times, same thing. So 0.36. That's our 36% reduction. This is our new subtraction. That's a lot less than this. That's half. All right. So now we're going to take our 0.6. We're going to subtract 0.216. Sorry, this is a math lesson here, guys. But so that same attack speed reduction is bringing our speed down to 0.38. Now, yes, that's bringing it down a lot. It's bringing it down to like a dagger speed, but it's similar DPS increase. You can see here, it's only half the amount. It's only half the speed increase. Where with the greatsword we got a 0.4 increase. With the katana we only got a 0.2 increase with the same reduction. So the same thing applies to the damage. You can easily go through and see the damage just gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you go up in size. So since everything is percent based, the bigger the damage, the more damage you're going to do with percent bonuses. The more attack speed you have, or like the slower you are, so the bigger the attack speed number is, so the slower your attacks are, the more attack speed buffs are going to do for you. And so what that means is when you have better runes and you can apply better buffs, these are the best in the game. They're worth saving up for. These are okay mid-game, sure, early game, but late game, these are significantly better. I keep seeing people say these aren't good, and that's not true. They just don't understand the math. They're like, oh yeah, just put attack speed on here. No. So look, this is the problem. If you're going relevators, you're going katana, if you're going any of these, anything like sub 0.6, I would say, sub 0.7 maybe. Definitely daggers, 100% daggers. You do not, look, I'll show you the math. You do not want to put that attack speed percent on it. It's a waste. Okay, so 0.39. Okay. So 0.39 times 0.36, so that's our 36% reduction, is only 0.14 reduction compared to the 0.4 reduction from the Colossal. Like, you're getting almost no benefit in comparison. Like, you're wasting that. So what's my point? Like, well, okay, you're telling me attack speed's a waste. You're telling me the damage is a waste. You know, if I do the percentage, you know, I'd obviously get way more from the Colossal than what stats are there that are flat. Well, they don't do flat stuff here. They don't have any flat things yet. But what they do have is percent to crit and percent damage to crit. Now those two stats would work well with these. And the reason being is because they already have good attack speed. So you just want to get the crit to get the damage multiplier because you're already getting multiple hits off really fast. Dots would also work really good on these. And if you don't know how to get the achievement, you can look up a video on that. It's super easy. Max out your crit. You can get like 85% crit if you do it right. So now if we take this katana that I made, and I could have put more crit on it, but I didn't. But I could add more crit now with runes. But instead of putting attack speed on here with runes, I would put crit, because the attack speed wouldn't do as much. It's not going to take a huge chunk off. But I can get it up to 85% crit chance, which is going to 2 times the damage every single time that I crit. And then there's, more math into that of like, okay, but you're missing the, 15% blah, blah, blah. And I can show you all that, but that's for another video if you guys really want that. And since it already attacks fast, it's going to benefit more from that crit damage and that crit percent than it will than this heavy sword will. And I could show you all the math. I know all the math. I could sit here for hours and then like go super deep into the math with you. If you guys want that video, tell me and I will put it out there. But for now, I'm just gonna say, just trust me. Like that is the math. Big slower weapons like this, that's where you want the attack speed and that's where you want the damage percentage. Otherwise, all these faster weapons like this that already have decent attack speed, you build crit. The Chaos Sword, build crit. It's a crazy crit. The Chaos Sword could be the best weapon in the game, but you have to build a crit. Okay, so I'm jabbering, and I'm showing you some of my gear, which my gear is not the best. I've experimented a lot and messed around, and I wasted a lot of my Dark Right. I could have made best in slot gear, but I didn't because I was experimenting and enjoying the game. But if you want the best in slot gear, I will show you how to do so. The best, absolute best, hands down. Like, you can't get any better. This is it right here. This is the best weapon in the game. You could add some more if you want a higher chance of a colossal sword. You could do a little bit less if you want to do a little bit riskier. Do this setup. I mean, you're not going to get the perfect stats here, but it's not too bad off. It's a little bit riskier. Now, if you want to do more, you go here for 69%. You go here, and it's still not perfect. Really, you want this 40, 30, 30, but you're still right on the edge of that 30%. And then this would be the perfect 40, 30, 30, and you get a 75% chance at a colossal sword. But this is extremely expensive. Now, if you want to see a very similar sword that does almost exactly the same amount of damage, almost the same DPS, but significantly cheaper, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. I was in the middle of setting up the next one, and before I finish doing that, I just want to explain one thing, just before I move on, for any of those curious. The reason why I don't have a 4th thing over here, and why there's only 3, is because to get the maximum status effect, you want 30% minimum of that ore to get the max bonus. So see, the Magmite is at 50%, the 35% chance. That's because there's at least 30% of it. So if I drop it down, and now there's only 25%, you see it dropped. I can drop it down lower, down to 16%, it dropped down more. So that's how that works. So you want at least 30% of it to get the max. You can sit around 29. It's not perfect. The multiplier we'll get to last, but that's why I only have 3 here, because the 4th one would throw off a percentage of how much ore the weapon is made out of for your buffs, your passives, and it would also throw off the multiplier. So that's like the perfect, the last one I showed you was like the perfect weapon in the game, in my opinion. If you can figure out a better recipe, I'll gladly love, I'd love to see it. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to a budget one that's almost identical in damage and DPS. Here you go. Now this sword is clearly significantly cheaper. You only need 4 Dark Right. Ior is basically nothing to get, and while you're trying to farm those 4 Dark Right, you're most likely gonna get the 12 Magmite and 12 Fire Right. Maybe not. You might have to farm a little bit more for a couple more Magmite. They are still kind of rare, but now you're probably saying, well, wait a second, this is only 183. What are you talking about? Well, you can see down here, we have 30%, 30%, 30%, 10%. So that's why we only have 4 Dark Right, because we get the max bonus on all of these. And the Ior gives us a 15% physical damage bonus. So on top of this damage, we also get 15% more that's not being calculated here. And so if you calculate in that 15%, it's like 2 DPS lower than the extremely expensive one that takes like an extra, I don't know, probably 30 hours of grinding. So I would say this is actually the best sword in the game because of the significant decrease in hours that it would take to grind, and then you can spend more time grinding for money to prepare for the next update, or for getting another armor set, because there's different armor sets you can build out for different things. You can build Thorns armor sets and yada yada yada. And if you guys want a video explaining all that, I can go into that. I can show you guys the best armor sets. I love math, and I've mathed the math out of this game, and I can show you the absolute peak of everything with this calculator. It's very well done. So very quickly, the last thing I want to do. Sorry this dragged on so long. I know I'm boring. I know I'm monotone. I tried my best. Okay. I just hate people that are wrong all the time, and all these YouTubers are wrong, and just they keep saying like wrong information. And again, some of them might know how it actually works, but they don't want you. They don't want to like have to explain everything and like all the nuances to it. So they just keep giving you the wrong information, and saying like, oh yeah, just make a katana, it's better. It's not. I mean, it can be for mid game. Yeah, sure. For mid game, I would tell you to make this right here. I know no one showed you this, and you're like, oh, why do you have a light in there? Honestly, you could drop this by 1, and then you're gonna have a light gauntlets or straight sword. It's gonna look pretty cool. If you got lucky and you have more light, increase this by 1, increase this by 1. Leave the river light there. You'll still have a pretty good bonus on it. You could bring the river light up, but you're gonna drop your multiplier a little bit. But you'll be guaranteeing a katana there. Or not guaranteeing, but you'll have a lot better chance at a katana. But I would drop the river light down by 1. And that gets you at a 4.0 multiplier. Fairly cheap. You get these 2 bonuses. The lightite's the hardest thing to get here. If you really don't want the gauntlets, go straight sword or dagger. But there you go. Boom. You do that if you really want. I wouldn't. I would do that. Keeps the multiplier really high. I mean, look at that. Look how high that DPS is. No one. Oh, sorry. Look how high that DPS is. I mean, no one rocks stuff like this because they don't understand how the systems work. No one puts lightite into swords because they don't understand how the systems work. Lightite is the strongest legendary in the game with the highest multiplier before you get to magma. And so for early mid game, late early game, it is the best, to make weapons and stuff. If you get lucky, you get 2 of them right here. Boom. This weapon you craft right here will carry you so far. Most people late mid game don't even have a weapon this strong. Anyway, I hope this information helps you guys. If you have any more questions or want me to over explain anything else or go full autism mode or anything, just let me know. I'd really appreciate any feedback. I know I'm monotone. I'm really working on it. I need some hype game, something more exciting. Anyway, you nerds have a good day. Thank you for coming to hang out and listen to my TED Talk. Later, nerds.